Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Alex.
I'm Jason, and this is Table Talks episode 3.
And so it's a beautiful day in Toronto.
Yeah, another beautiful
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep. And the quarantine is 10 people now, so we've invited a few more friends.
Yeah, it was
Little
awesome to
family,
train with a few
yeah.
people.
Yeah,
more people.
New people, yeah.
Had the 2 tables out.
Jay is the dad, and then his daughter Ursula there, and his son Derek. Derek and Alex are really similar in height and weight, so they had a couple good battles. It was really nice. Yeah, there's Jay. Yeah, so just getting into it. These guys were
They were fresh, right?
They were feeling pretty fresh. Yeah, that's what they said. At least Derek said he was definitely feeling fresh. And Ursula there going with Lewis. She's crazy side pressure and crazy hand, considering she's 17 years old.
Yeah, I for one have never met a girl with a hand that strong.
I know, it's insane. It's just like thick, strong, and she's tenacious. That like she just loves to like push super hard.
And then Derek,
All three of them do. They all have that like let's get it. It's awesome. It's awesome. You need that. That's definitely arm wrestling. You know, just like that, just drive to give her.
Derek's
like
got mad curling strength and
and side pressure. He's literally matching.
I know
Lewis's side pressure there. That's intense. It's intense, man.
And Jay was top rolling me like super aggressively
With his left, right?
Yeah,
his left is strong.
Yeah, he can beat Derek with his top roll for sure.
Yeah, Derek's got to bury his hook for it to.
Yeah, which is what he does right here after he like regrips.
Yeah, he
takes a lower grip in his hand and then he's this one, the next one.
Yeah, he's gotta come down. Yeah. As I noticed that it's like I think it's Dylan McClutchin. I think. I can't remember.
Oh, I've seen that guy's name on the leaderboard.
Yeah. He's the one that showed me that like pinky drive, where you like drive your pinky into the wrist, which is kind of what Derek's doing there. That's what I found. That was what would work against Jay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're feeling fresh, and that's programming and like figuring out how to pull on the table is. I think that's the biggest. I don't know. That's what I find so interesting. That's what I'm really trying to figure out.
Right, like how to regulate the intensity and volume of your arm wrestling training, like the actually being on the table.
Yeah,
like
the intensity, the volume, like establishing your workload for the week.
Yeah.
And so I guess it's like you said before. It's workload, intensity, and frequency, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 3 things that we got to regulate, and we got to figure out. So like if you're arm wrestling once a week, and you're putting 100 like all your points into intensity, you're basically accumulating like not too much workload, and your frequency is as low as it can be. It's once, right? And then you're so blasted that you got to wait a whole week before you can arm wrestle again, basically.
You can't arm wrestle for a week. You probably can't lift for a week.
At least not things that are going to really benefit your arm wrestling strength. Like you can do recovery work for your wrist and for your elbow and stuff, but you're not going to be able to like do heavy pull-ups or seated rows or heavy curls during that week if you blasted your arms. Maybe in the beginning, I know when I first started, that took like 45 minutes, like 45 minutes of hard pulling, and my arms were done. And like I remember the first time I pulled, it was like I did one match, and I was like, wait a second, like there's more. Like you're supposed to continue to do this for like matches and matches, and like to win a tournament means you got to pull like multiple times. And I remember I just watched like a bunch of super matches. I was like, they did like best out of 5, which means they went like many times, because this is crazy. I was like, what the hell? My arm was so sore. I was like, this is impossible.
But it's crazy now. Like this session was probably 3 hours, and we can kind of handle that now.
Yeah, and this was my 3rd pulling session in I guess 7 or 8 days. Like I try to pull twice a week as much as possible. So it was Sunday, then Wednesday, then Sunday. And that was the second No, because they've been going once every other week.
So wait,
Anyway, it was a lot of pulling, and the last Sunday and Wednesday were both really intense.
Yeah.
Like I went really hard both those days. So
already you're able to arm wrestle at a pretty high frequency and intensity and recover pretty well.
yeah. Like even after this, I felt like the day after I felt sore, and then did some recovery work, and then Tuesday. So yesterday I was able to like blast out like a heavy pressing,
Right. Yeah.
at least heavy for home.
So we were talking about how you would implement a arm wrestle every day program.
Yeah, would that make sense? Would it work? Would it be beneficial? Would you get stronger doing it? You know?
Yeah. Would you become a better arm wrestler? Would you become a better arm wrestler and not get stronger?
Yeah, would you become better at
both?
arm wrestling?
Yeah.
And or would you become a stronger arm wrestler?
Yeah.
Those are the two things. Being a strong arm wrestler or being a good arm wrestler. So did I get better at
What do
the
you-
act
well-
of like did I get better at the act of arm wrestling, like the fight of arm wrestling, or did I get stronger at the vectors that are arm wrestling?
Okay.
So like I don't know that I know them well enough, but let's say Vitaly is maybe a better arm wrestler, but Levon is definitely a stronger arm wrestler. Do you know what I mean? Like Vitaly has more tools in his belt. He's a more technically sound arm wrestler.
Okay, so you're better. You're
A better technically. So it's like technique and strength. So you're a technically sound arm wrestler, or you're a technically strong arm wrestler, or you're trying to get better at arm wrestling techniques,
Yeah.
or you're trying to get better at the strengths of arm wrestling. So yes, arm wrestling every day. I think for sure you would, as long as you keep the variety of people you arm wrestle with, you would get better at arm wrestling.
No doubt you would get better at arm wrestling.
At the actual technique of arm wrestling. 100% you're going to figure things out and find angles and find moves and like, oh wow, this works, that works.
Yeah.
As long as you're implementing it, like searching for things and trying to do variety, right?
And you're not like redlining so much that
Yeah, that's what I was going to get
you
into
can't
next.
get to like techniques efficiently the way you would need to.
Yeah, it'd be like having your form breakdown with
Exactly.
squat. Like there's no point in doing 100 squats if the last 50 are all horrible form.
Exactly.
And you're just reinforcing a shitty technique. You know?
Yeah.
So same thing. I mean, we started talking about it before, and we were thinking like, breaking it up. Like, okay, if I can arm wrestle now 2 hours twice a week is like the volume I can handle. And then I just have to manage the intensity. If I go too intense for too much of those total of 4 hours. So if that's a total of 4 hours, if I spend more than half an hour in red line, I'm too sore for the week to lift properly.
Yeah.
Right? So now let's say if we're going to arm wrestle every day, maybe we want to accumulate 5 hours of arm wrestling in the week, right? So we're only going to arm wrestle for an hour a day, and now we're going to make sure that we're only redlining 10 minutes a week.
Yeah.
You know, like at
Maybe it's
most,
like
maybe it's 5 minutes.
pulls.
It's like one pull every day per arm that you redline.
Maybe, yeah,
And
yeah.
then so you work, like we said, like one of the other things is it's hard to regulate, right?
Especially when you're going against an opponent who's of different strength.
Yeah, it's really hard to judge where you're at. You
Yeah.
know when you're pulling 100%, and you know when you're kind of not trying too much.
Yeah.
But in between those two is difficult, right?
It's a huge gray area.
So if there's a way to pull in that not trying too much for like 5-10 minutes, then or 15 minutes, let's say, then pull literally a minute per arm hard.
Yeah.
And then pull the rest of the practice down in that not too hard, hanging a lot, just working techniques, working the start, like just working, gaining the hook, or rolling out of it, but not actually like getting into a fight and trying to go from start to pad or any of that stuff. Just working like certain points of the technique. For the other, so
it's more like sticking to a 50 to 60% range, and then 100% for a shorter period of time, and then back to 50-60%. All the while working different techniques.
But that's more like speed work if you were to compare it to the gym.
Yeah.
Like it's very technique. Like you're just working the technique and doing it like over and over at not very high intensity.
Yeah, just nailing that motor pattern.
Yeah, nailing the motor pattern. So you're implementing great motor pattern technique, and the first thing but before you did that, first thing you did was warm your muscles up.
Yeah.
Then you get as many fibers firing at the same time as you possibly can.
Yep.
And then now that all those fibers are awake and going, what the fuck, you work technique.
Yep.
For like a half hour. That actually sounds brilliant. Fuck.
It does sound good.
All right, guys. So we could obviously talk about this stuff for hours, which we did, and we'll be releasing more of it in the next episodes. We hope you guys like listening to us talk about it because we like talking about it.
Yeah. So if you did like it, please leave us a like, comment, and subscribe so you can catch our next video, Pulling Strength, coming out in a few days. And we'll be trying to release a Table Talks episode once a week. So keep your eye out for that.
And yeah, that's all. Catch you next time. Peace.